Now moving on to other stories. As part of the government's commitment to ensuring that cashew farmers are not exploited by buyers, government instituted a Tree Crop Development Authority to get a benchmark price for the cashew. Last cashew season, a kilo of cashew was at a minimum of 5 cedis across the country. The Tree Crop Development Authority is yet to engage the government to determine a new benchmark price for cashew this season. However, before any announcement is made on the cashew price for the coming season, some farmers in the German South municipality of the Bono region are calling on both the government and the Tree Crop Development Authority to peg the bench price of the cashew at 11 cedis to cushion them against the hardship. Emmanuel Kusi is secretary to the cashew farmers, and he says this figure is not a request for price increment, but the current dollar equivalent to the previous benchmark. According to him, farmers are the worst off after their farming season due to the astronomical increment of goods and services in the country. Isaac Ovieje, a data analyst here at Joy News, joins me in studio with some data on cashew in Ghana. Kofi, what do we know so far about the cashew value chain?
The cashew farmers want government to peg the price at 11 cedi per kilo. But we've been tracking, the value of this cashew market that we see across the globe and also in Africa and in Ghana as well. But if you look at this in 2021, there are some places in the world that you can actually see that they demand a lot of cashew. And number one was in India, where, demand went up by 10%. In US, it went up by 9.5%, and in China, went up by, some 7.5%. But if you look at this graph, it tells you the story of Africa, where we are currently in terms of cashew and then revenue or the production of cashew, the growth of cashew in Africa. So if you look at the top, 4 cashew exporters in Africa as of 2020, number one is Ivory Coast. They were able to export some units of 574.6. Ghana is number 2, 302, followed by Tanzania, 241. And then there is also Nigeria with 190. This statistics is actually from Statista. And
I guess these are in thousands.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So if you look at the cashew revenue we've been able to rake in as a country from cashew right from 2010 to 2021. Now, this is important because we've been talking about foreign exchange. It means every dollar we earn as a country now is very, very important. So if you have any commodity, if you have anything bringing you dollars, you have to really cherish it. So if you look at cashew, for instance, since 2010, cashew revenue from cashew is around $3.2 billion that we've been able to raise from this. But look at the trend from cashew, how much we've been getting as revenue. You could see that in 2016 was the year we had the highest, where we were able to get some $981.4 million from cashew exports. But since then it's been declining. In 2010 actually, when China, India were all demanding a lot of cashew, they were actually falling on Ghana to have this this demand that they were seeing. But if you look at it, it's been falling right from 2016. But so we asked the question, what is actually happening here that we aren't getting so much from cashew as we did in 2016?
All right, grateful to you for that work. Then Emmanuel Kusi joins us on this benchmark values, and he is the General Secretary for the association. Now, Imam, I'm grateful that you could join us. He's joining us via phone now. Can you run us through how much it costs now to cultivate an acre of cashew farm, depending on which you're asking for increment in the price of your product? Hello, Kusi,
hello.
Can you follow me? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Great. First of all, my colleague was showing us a data that indicates that from 2016, our revenue in cashew has been falling, which means that farmers are not growing that much. What is accounting for this?
In fact, all the farming inputs that we need to do an acre of a cashew farm have rise up, because when you calculate the cost of 1 acre now, in fact, if you don't have money, you cannot do 1 acre even a year, because farming inputs like agrochemicals, that is weedicides, labor costs, everything has increased.
Okay.
have been
Kosi,
increased overwhelmingly.
Okay.
So if you're a farmer, if you are going into cashew business or cashew farming, and you don't have financial muscles, it will be very difficult for you to enter into cashew farming.
Okay, so it's about the finances. But so far, have you communicated your intention to the Tree Crop Development Authority? What have they also been telling you?
Yes, we have been we have been discussed with them. Last year, the Tree Crop Authority came out with a benchmark level for farmers, just to cushion the farmers, to enable them to do their farming very well. But notwithstanding that, our part was also to fulfill that we should produce quality seeds. We were able to abide by what the Tree Crop Authority came out with, because what they were saying is that sometimes we have to dry it well to a minimum. The moisture content should be around 10%. And fortunately for us, we as farmers or the union, we educated our farmers very well for them to dry it to that level. So now, our part have been fulfilled. Left it the government and the foreign buyers be with us to buy the product with a good price, so that we may have the courage to do the farming very well.
Now, in terms of the development of the value chain, what do you think government can do to help?
Last year, government came out with 5 cities, a benchmark. That 5 cities was not enough, but it helped us. But right now, we could see that that 5 cities government came out with was equivalent to 80 cents in US dollars. Right now, when you are with the same 80 cents, you can get around 11 cities plus. So we are requesting that today the benchmark this year, the new benchmark price that government will come out with should be not less than 11 cities.
Okay. Okay. All right. Grateful to you for joining us here.